China boasts a long and rich history dating back to 2000 BC. Over the past 1400 years, there have been various attempts to introduce the gospel to the people in China. The Nestorians in the 7th century, the Franciscans in the 13th century, and the Jesuits in the 16th century made attempts, but each of these early efforts failed to take root. However, in the late 1800s, the political climate opened the door for many missionaries to enter China, and for the first time in their history, Christianity began to take root. By 1895, there were approximately 50,000 Christians and around 1,300 missionaries. Among them were some of the first missionaries commended from U.S. assemblies: Miss Eliza Logan from Buffalo, New York, Mr. Thomas Melville from Boston, Massachusetts, and Mrs. Eliza Lennox and her 12-year-old daughter from New York City, New York. One of the pioneer missionaries in China was Hudson Taylor. He served over 50 years in China. He founded the China Inland Mission, an agency that sent over 800 missionaries to China. In the early years of China Inland Mission, its financial support came almost entirely from those in the Brethren movement. Following the example of George Mueller and others in the movement, Hudson Taylor implemented faith missions for all who were sent out, trusting God to supply their needs. In 1900, the church faced its greatest challenge through the Boxer Rebellion that claimed the lives of 200 missionaries and 2,000 Chinese Christians. However, rather than seeing decline or extermination, the church continued to flourish. By 1912, the number of Christians had grown to over 1 million. God raised up many indigenous leaders from within the Chinese church. One such leader was Watchman Nee, who was influenced by many writers in the Brethren movement. These writings influenced his beliefs concerning plurality of leadership, the priesthood of believers, and worship centered around the Lord's Supper. By 1949, his network of churches, known as the Little Flock, made up 15 to 20% of the whole Protestant church in China. The church in China continued to face many challenges and great persecution under the rule of Chairman Mao. As the saying goes, the blood of the martyrs became the seed of the church. Man's attempt to shatter the Church of Jesus Christ was used by God to advance the gospel. Today, the number of believers in China is estimated to be around 100 million. Many of them are part of the house church movement. Since China opened up in 1989, missionaries have used various creative ways to enter and reside in the country long term. Various methods to serve the Chinese people, such as medicine, agriculture, and education, have also been used effectively to win a hearing for the gospel. Assembly missionaries from the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Europe, Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and South Korea have continued to reach out to the people of China through church planting, college campus ministry, Bible training, various compassion ministries, and translation and printing ministries. At present, local church leaders and missionaries have experienced pressures from the government. Missionaries have been questioned, activities monitored, visas denied, and some have been asked to leave the country. Local church leaders have been questioned, meeting places shut down, and some have even been put under house arrest or imprisoned. During the COVID-19 pandemic, most, if not all, churches were shut down, but continued to meet via video conferencing. Today, things have normalized for most of the country, and many churches have resumed gathering in person. House church pastors and elders need training, equipping, and vision to multiply. There are opportunities for teachers in the church to train these local leaders 1 to 2 weeks at a time through various training modules and training centers throughout China. Sometimes foreigners have a greater opportunity to win a hearing for the gospel, especially among young people on college campuses who are able to communicate in English. Foreign exchange student programs in high schools and colleges throughout the United States are wonderful opportunities for the gospel. Students away from their friends and family need those who can come alongside and help them adjust to their new environment and culture. They are often more open to the gospel than if they were living back home. Perhaps the Lord may be calling you to reach out to a foreign exchange student in your area. Some of you may be called to go to China. Some of you are called to stay and work among Chinese exchange students. But everyone can pray to the Lord of the harvest on behalf of the Chinese people. Next time you go shopping, look to see where the product was made. Pray for that country, their leaders, their people, and those serving in those countries. Often, you will see China. Please pray for China.